If there's anything I've said today that causes you to say, okay, Adam's my guy, we need you now.
Got clutter piling up? FM Junket in Carson, Iowa is your hometown cleanup crew. Fast hauling, fair prices, and now easy dumpster rentals for DIY cleanouts. Your single items to full-on messes, FM Junket gets it done. Call today and breathe a little easier. Prom season is coming fast, and Inspire Couture in Glenwood has the dress that feels like you. From sleek and modern to bold and unforgettable, every gown is handpicked to help you shine. Find your perfect fit, feel confident, and make prom night one to remember. Only at Inspire Couture. In Mills County and beyond, home is about people, and Ruby Realty is proud to be part of this community, whether it's residential, commercial, or auction services. Their team brings local knowledge and genuine care to every step. Ruby Realty is rooted right here and serving neighbors just like you.
2% cap. No, one thing, so get back to legislation and policy. From a property tax perspective, what I'm seeing being proposed is putting a cap on property tax increases. What I am challenging is, if you do cap property tax increases, what are you doing to ensure that a school board, a city council, or county supervisor needs to raise it 2%? Or is everybody just going to raise it 2% because now that's the cap? And so what I'm advocating for, and I did this within my own department, was zero-based budgeting. So in my own department, I did not allow my team to come back with the budget from last year. We zeroed everything out, and I made my team prove why they needed the money that they were asking for before I went in front of the legislature and asked for it. When we did that, the first year that I did that, we found $500,000 in unnecessary subscription services that we were using that we wouldn't have known about had we not created the transparency first. And so I believe that governments all across the state, whether you're the executive branch, whether you're a school board, city council, county supervisor, we need to look at the spend. I believe government by and large has a spending problem. I believe by and large that some cities, some counties, some school boards spend appropriately. But we need transparency and accountability on the spend, because we need to lower property taxes. We need, I believe, to provide people the ability to own their homes, own their property free and clear of that being attached to property taxes. But if we don't reduce the spend, we're never going to be able to get there. From a business perspective, if you remove your revenue and only increase your expenses, it's a recipe for disaster. It's common sense. And so I will be advocating for looking at the spend. I've done it in my department. We can do it in the rest of the executive branch, and we can become a template for political subdivisions across this state. So from that's where I'm at on property tax at this point. I will also protect the school choice program, the ESA program. So right now, we're watching independent and private schools start to form, start to build, and parents are able to access their state tax dollars for the cost of that schooling. So I will continue to push that program forward. Now, I say that, and I'll say this. I'm not anti-public school. My two boys go to public school. They go to we love our elementary school that the boys go to, and so we're going to keep them there. What we don't love are the requirements and the standards being forced down upon the teachers that aren't allowing the teachers to teach my boys the way they need to learn. There's a common core philosophy that is being pushed down into schools, a DEI philosophy that's being pushed down into schools that's not allowing teachers to teach. And we need to free those schools up to allow teachers to teach. Here's one thing I mean by that. My son Riker, 10 years old, he's in 4th grade right now. He is thriving. He's doing very, very well. His body doesn't behave like our bodies. He doesn't do things quickly. It's a syndrome. He doesn't work quickly. So when he goes to reading classes, their standards are how fast can you read. So it's fluency. They're tested on fluency, how fast you can read. My son Riker, he can read with 100% accuracy, 100% comprehension, but he doesn't read fast. And so he comes home with zeros on his papers. And so we talked to the teachers, and with tears in their eyes, they're like, this is how we have to grade Riker. And it drives them nuts. But they can't get around. That's how they're being judged on their standards. And so when I hear about the ESA program and school choice, some pushback I get is, what are you going to do to the private schools and the independent schools to make them follow the same standards as the public school? And the first thing I'll say is, I'm not going to ruin them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to provide the public schools the opportunity and the option to teach a different line of education, and that's the classical track of education. I want public schools to be able to offer a classical track so parents can choose the Common Core track or the classical track. And I guarantee you, when you start to see the test scores, when you start to see your kids learning in public schools at a much higher, a much better level through classical education, that's what's going to reign the day. And all of a sudden, you're going to have great public schools from an educational perspective. You're going to have great independent schools and great private schools. Look at Mississippi right now. Mississippi, I want to say they were 47th or 48th in the country in education. They went to classical education. Now I think they're number 2 in the country. That is what we can do here in the state of Iowa when we create that opportunity. I believe it creates new industry across the state as well, where our colleges can teach teachers how to teach classical education. And then there's a pipeline of opportunity within our schools that they can go do that. I believe teachers will show up from across the country to learn how to teach this style of education when that starts to spread. So from a policy perspective, I will do everything I can to continue to push forward common sense, America first, Iowa first, conservative principles every single day. I've won some, I've lost some. I've been knocked down, I never stay down. I've developed scars. And because of those scars and because of my ability to not sit back and not stay down when I get knocked down, I've developed a spine of steel. I am unafraid. I am fearless. I will stand up in front of adversity. I'll do what needs to be done. I'll say what needs to be said. And I fight for my wife and my boys every single day. And my commitment to you is I will fight for your families and your children every single day as well. Donate. Figure out if you want to volunteer. Figure out if you want yard signs. We will make ourselves available, but now is the time to jump into this thing and go all in. Because the one thing, other than Randy Feenster as a candidate, that's going to bring Rob Sand in is if we sit back. We got to get our neighbors involved. We got to get our families involved. We got to rise up, and everybody's got to come together to keep Iowa free. So again, thank you. God bless you, and I appreciate your time here. Thank you all.